literally just gonna show you this plaster the other way around, but you get me. I'm definitely not doing that. I wish they had Disney plasters, but they were all out. Superdrug didn't come through, but I got a blue one. Nearly went to do it again there. Hello honeys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're just joining me now, then hi, my name's Imogen, and this is a little bit of a different video for me today because I do like doing story times, don't get me wrong, but this is a little bit more, okay, we're gonna talk serious. Like, this isn't funny. I am actually a really funny person. If you watch my other videos, if you're new to my channel, then I'm quite funny. I think I'm funny anyway. Imagine you watch the other videos and you're like, she's not funny, she thinks she's funny, and that's the funny part about her, she thinks she's actually funny. Anyway, if you aren't new to my channel, then this story time will come as no surprise to you because it's something that I've been talking about for a long time. I do have a stomach condition and I've never actually addressed which one that is. I've never spoken about the story behind it. I've never spoken about how I got that stomach condition. I feel like you've been with me for so much of it. Throughout my videos, I've explained that sometimes I've been to hospital, sometimes I've also been sick during filming, especially in my vlogs as well. I've been really open about sometimes when I haven't been very well. I feel like I am so open with you and I want to explain everything from start to finish to you all today. It's actually quite ironic that today I'm doing the story time behind my stomach. Today my stomach has been horrific. It has just thought, I genuinely believe it was like, oh, you're gonna do a story time about me today? I'm gonna give you hell today. I genuinely believe it was like that. My stomach, he knew. Or she knew. I don't know if it's a he or she. I don't know what she's saying down there, but my stomach was playing up today. So it seems pretty fitting that my stomach's playing up today and I'm going to do this story time. So honey, just quickly, I'm going to talk about my whole stay in hospital. Then I will talk about how I felt in hospital and stuff like that at the end. I will definitely talk to you about how it was being in hospital and stuff like that, but I just want to tell you about my stomach problem first and then I can tell you all about that. So basically, I'm going to explain some things. I know that some people are joining me brand new today, so hello hon buns, and a lot of you have been with me for ages, which I love you so much. I love you, I love you, I love you. Whatever hun you are, whether you're joining me now or you've joined me for a while, then let's get on with the story. Basically, some of you will be aware that I was in 2 long-term relationships. I lived with both of them, and then when they both came to an end, I was living in London on my own. I lived in a studio flat, and at the time, I was a little bit lonely, so I decided to move in with some girls. I'll link that story time below, but that's a whole nother story time about living with those girls. But basically, before I moved in with those girls, I moved back to Brighton and spent 3 months here working non-stop. I do really want to do a story time about all my previous jobs and stuff, so, because I've got some story times from them, so if you do want to see them, then please comment below or give this video a massive, I just went like this, or give this video a massive and I did it again, or give this video a massive thumbs up, and then I know you like these videos. I was working 3 jobs. I moved home and I needed to save to move back up to London. I did not stop. I promise you, this is no word of a lie. I had 3 jobs and I probably slept 2 hours a night, which for anyone is stressful, let alone someone that came out of 2 long-term relationships. I was heartbroken from the first one. The second one was just a bit of a shambles. It was all just a bit too much. I started getting a lot of acid reflux, which is where you feel like when you're, okay, I'm gonna say some words by the way in this video where I feel like it's a bit crude. If you don't like words like this, like sick, being sick, diarrhea, can I say those words? I'm gonna say those words. I've got to be honest. Stomach, digestive system, that's what's happening down there, that's what's happening. I was getting a lot of acid reflux, which is where you sort of regurgitate a warm kind of acidy saliva solution and it feels like a burning sensation on the back of your throat, and I was so unaware of this. Like, before this, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Touch wood. I touched my head because I can't find any wood. Dad, that better be wood. But before this point, I had no idea what that was. So my dad said, just go to the doctors. So I went to the doctor and told her my symptoms, which were a lot of acid reflux and a pain up the top here, and it was really rock solid. Okay, so when I touched it there, it was hard. And I was like, what is this? I was struggling to go to the toilet every day, which normally before that, I was going every day. I can't even believe I'm telling you all this, but I'm definitely gonna tell you all of it anyway. No, I'm sorry, you're my hum buns, I'll tell you everything. I wasn't going to the toilet every day and I was worried about that as well. And what she said to me was, you have IBS. So she prescribed some peppermint, culpramin, I think they were. She told me to take Dulcolax, basically she told me to get anything for IBS over the counter. So I was seeing this out and I was taking the medication every day and there was no change. In fact, it actually got worse. I started to get progressively more stressed because I was like, what is going on with my body? I was extremely bloated. When I mean bloated, I was like, it was like rock solid. It looked like a 6-month pregnant. No, it doesn't. It gets worse. It didn't look that bad at this point. I would get to about 4 months pregnant. It would just be very rock solid and very bloated. So when I moved back to London, it got progressively worse. A lot of acid reflux. My voice was a lot more croaky than it was now. I always have a slight croak to my voice. I don't know whether you can hear it, but it's almost as though I've had a sore throat and it's going, and you know when you're sort of, it's a little bit raspy. Not really raspy, but just a little. Anyway, so at this point I was going into my 2nd year of uni. Now my singing teacher really picked up on it and he was like, your vocal range just isn't stretching the way it used to. The way you're speaking, if you came into an audition room like that, I wouldn't take you because I can hear that there's a raspiness to your voice, so I feel like there's no strength in your voice. I remember him telling me that and remember calling my dad and being like, what am I gonna actually do? Like, my singing teacher's telling me my voice has just changed. And I remember feeling really sad about it. So this was in my first term of my second year of uni, and I went into ballet. I remember my ballet teacher, she was so funny. She always used to say, you've got all the facilities Imogen Hudson, but you're not using them. The day before, she told me to bring a towel, and she was like, you are gonna sweat so much in that class tomorrow. I'm gonna make you work so hard. You're gonna have one drink at the beginning, and you're not gonna drink until you are gagging for water, until you have worked so hard. And I was so scared. I was thinking, should I pull a sickie tomorrow? No, I'm joking. I definitely wouldn't have done that. You know, you're like, oh my God, I'm scared to go in. So then I went to ballet and I was having my drink of water. And as I was drinking water, I know this sounds so weird. This is so weird. As I was drinking water, it wouldn't go down. I could not swallow. I was like, I couldn't swallow, and I know I can't really explain it to you, and I know it's really difficult for you to understand. So it was just coming back up or coming out of my nose. It was just going everywhere. My ballet teacher was like, I really think you need to go to hospital. But I didn't want to go to hospital because I thought, no, it's fine. It's just the IBS. I just think I need to understand it a bit more. I need to make sure that I'm eating the right things, etc, etc, etc. I remember feeling lousy that night. I didn't eat anything. I felt so weak. So I went to the doctor the next day, and she said to me, it's just the IBS. It's just IBS. And you know when you feel a bit like, oh, okay, I'm really gonna have to work on managing this, because if that's how my life is kind of gonna be, I don't really know. I was so confused. I was like, what is going on? I kept calling my mum and dad, and obviously they weren't in London because I was at uni in London. So they were really like, they felt a bit helpless. So I remember that night when I went back home, I was very ill. I felt so sick. The only way I can describe it is, you know where your colon is? So basically your colon goes down the side here and at the back, I think. I don't even know, I'm not a doctor, so please don't quote me on anything I'm about to say. On my left side of my stomach, it was almost as if it was so tight, something was being squeezed, and there was like a shooting pain going up it. I felt awful, honestly, and I kept passing out from the pain. So my dad called an ambulance, and the ambulance came to get me. I went down in the ambulance and they gave me gas and air. However, gas and air was definitely the wrong thing because I was so blocked up anyway. It was blocking me up further. With this gas and air, I felt so sick. I was like, what is going on? Normally gas and air is fine. I'm fine on that. I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, loving life, whatever, gas and air, whatever, hit me up if you need to. Not that I like it, but I'm just saying if you're in pain. But this time it was pushing like a block here, and I was like, felt such a tightness in my chest, and I was like, I didn't really know what was going on. When I got to hospital, they did all these tests. They did a pregnancy test. That was never going to be the case because it would have been a miraculous conception because I wasn't with anyone. I was with no one. Do you know what I mean? So, but they had to do that. They have to do that when you go into hospital just to protect themselves. They did all these tests. They took my bloods and stuff like that. They put a drip on me to give me some fluids, but at this point I was throwing up a lot. So what they did was they went to give me an anti-sickness. So they put it in my cannula here. However, they gave me an anti-sickness called metoclopramide. I felt this anti-sickness go up my arm. Within a minute, I was going doolally. And when I mean doolally, like, I promise you, it was the scariest time. This is no word of a lie. I was eager to go and do things I would never do. I wanted to go and jump off a building. I was like, I'm gonna go jump off a building. It made me go crazy. I then later on found out I was allergic to this drug, but I'd never known because I'd never had it. I was like trying to rip out my cannula. I was trying to rip out my cannula. The doctors were like, okay, just lie down, just lie down. I was like, no, what's going on? Like, what's going on? I can't, I don't like this, I don't like this. I was getting really, really, really scared because it was so weird. It was like my legs wanted to be up. I wanted to run away. Can't explain it to you, but what was going through my head was not good at all. Then the guy came back to me and was like, look, we could do further tests, but I do believe you have a stomach ulcer. And he was like, basically, all you need to do is take these antibiotics for 2 weeks and everything will be fine. So I was like, easy. Antibiotics 2 weeks? I'm fine with that. I'll take antibiotics for 2 weeks if it's going to clear up how I'm feeling. Do you know what I mean? You'd be like, yeah, buzzing, loving life. Then I went back, and during those 2 weeks, I went back to hospital 4 times. I went back to hospital 4 times, and every single time I went back to hospital, because on my notes it said stomach ulcer. It seemed from the hospital records that I have a stomach ulcer. All they did was shoo me off. They were like, you've got a stomach ulcer. There's nothing we can do. We can give you some pain medication, but you just need to stay on your meds for your stomach ulcer, and it will go. In this 2 weeks, I didn't attend uni. I couldn't eat anything. I could not stomach something without it coming up, without me feeling sick, without me regurgitating acid. I honestly felt so ill. I kept passing out. I couldn't drink water. I could not drink water. I was so weak. I was forcing water down, but still feeling so sick. And then it would come back up and I would feel ill, then I'd pass out. My mum and dad agreed that my mum would come up. Basically, my mum came to doctor with me and was like, listen, this is my 20-year-old daughter. She's literally just started her second year of uni. And obviously universities aren't cheap. Universities aren't cheap, and I was missing my education. So then the doctor did a few tests, just some blood tests and some stuff like that. And she was like, I need to call an ambulance now. Her blood sugar level is so low. I promise you, I was so weak. I just kept sitting there passing out because I had nothing in my body. I had nothing in my body. So they called an ambulance and I went to hospital. And when my mum came with me to the hospital, they said to me they were going to have to keep me in overnight. And they were like, we need to give her an anti-sickness. and I was like, I don't agree with the anti-sickness. It really doesn't agree with me. And they didn't listen to me. They did not listen to me. And that's me being completely honest. I honestly sat there in front of them and I was like, I don't agree with the anti-sickness. I've had it once. And they were like, no, maybe it was just your stomach that was playing up and that's why you didn't agree with it. Or maybe it's because you didn't have enough water. But we've given you some fluids now. So we're going to give you the anti-sickness because you need to stop feeling this way. They gave me the anti-sickness and my mum witnessed everything. My mum will vouch this for me. It went really weird. I was saying I want to go and play out in the traffic. I wanted to do things which you could die from, but I wanted to do it for the thrill. And it was just weird. I was allergic to it. It was making my head go completely crazy. And there's no other way of me explaining it rather than me actually just thinking these obscene thoughts that I never had in my head. Then also feeling so weird, feeling like my arms were out of my body. It was so horrible. My mum was like, she's allergic to it. She can never have that again. Like, please don't ever put something in my daughter's body that she's told you she did not want. My mum is a gal, like she will stand up for me. So she was going in. She was going in. And then I remember because I'd had this drug, my mum was like, I'm gonna have to leave you now. And I was thinking, I've never stayed in hospital overnight on my own ever. I stayed once when I was younger, but my ex-boyfriend stayed with me. It was because I was young, but I've never stayed on my own. So I was like, no, I just feel really vulnerable. I felt vulnerable. That's exactly how I felt. I felt really vulnerable. And I remember them saying to me, it's only gonna be one night. It's only gonna be one night. And I ended up actually staying in and out of hospital for the next 6 months. I stayed consecutively for 3 months, and then I was in and out of hospital for the next year. I was in and out of hospital for the next year. My stomach did not get better, but I'm gonna get to that. I'm gonna get to that. But I remember them saying to me, it's only gonna be one day, and then it lasted all that time, and I was like, you said it would only be a day. You lied to me, Huns. And at this point, I got put on the gastric ward. I'm trying to remember everything. It just seems so long ago to me now because it was 4 years ago. So I got put on the gastric ward, which is to do with everything with stomachs and stuff like that. They did a lot of tests within these 3 months. They did a lot of tests and the tests came back as fine. Everything was fine. When they asked me a couple of questions, I explained that I did a musical theatre degree and I do dancing, singing and acting. As soon as I said that, they automatically assumed that this would be an eating disorder. However, I hadn't lost a lot of weight. I was losing a little bit of weight just because I wasn't eating a lot, but that's because I couldn't stomach anything. But I had given them nothing, no indication to me having an eating disorder except for saying that I was a dancer. Like, obviously, I don't know what was going on in their head, but that's the flag that they went with. So I had to stay in hospital again for another 2 weeks for them to get an eating disorders team to come to see me. What really bugged me was that there are people out there that are suffering with eating disorders. Oh, it makes me so upset for people that are going through that. I'm not gonna cry, I'm definitely not gonna cry. But it makes me so upset that there are people out there that need that help. And I was saying to them, I don't have an eating disorder, but I think they had to cover it just to tick everything off, which I do understand. The eating disorders team came to see me and they were like, your stomach condition or whatever's going on at the moment with you is nothing to do with an eating disorder. We know you don't have an eating disorder. While I was in hospital, I had 2 endoscopies. Endoscopies? And basically, I think I'm saying it right, and basically what that is it's where they put a little tiny camera in your throat and down into your stomach and they can see what's going on. They said that from that test, they'd seen that I'd had a lot of acid in my stomach. They said I'd also worn away a lot of the lining of my esophagus, which is this leading up to your throat. I'm definitely not a doctor, so I don't know. I'm just trying to remember what was going on. They said that nothing was majorly wrong. After those tests and after they said I had a lot of acid, they basically, I was on a drip for a month and a half. I had medication every day. I had a drip in here, a drip in here, a drip in here, a drip in here. I had drips everywhere. I had morphine as well on a button so I could press it when I was in pain, and I was getting a lot of pain in my stomach. So I don't remember a lot of it because I felt like I was so out of it, but I remember doing a lot of tests. They tried to cover everything. And then I remember this day so clearly. I remember this day so clearly. They came in to me after a month and a half of being in hospital, and my surgeon, he was so horrible. I'm not just saying this, he was so horrible. I think he was mainly horrible to me because he couldn't work out what was wrong with me, and he had so many letters after his name. He was so intelligent. He's written so many books. I felt like he was angry towards me because he couldn't work out what was wrong with me. So he came to me and he patted me on the leg. I never forget it. He patted me on the leg and he was like, we're gonna send you home. We do think it's all in your head. We think a lot of it is psychosomatic. Basically, psychosomatic means I've made it happen. By thinking so much in my head, I've made these symptoms happen. And I remember feeling like, oh my God, I've been here for that long and this is what's happened. And you know when you actually feel like you're going crazy, you're like, no. I know my body. I know something's not right with it. I know this is not right. So then I said, I'm not leaving. And he was like, you need to leave, like we're discharging. And my dad was there and my dad was like, come on Imogen, I'm gonna take you back to Brighton. Let's see if we can retrain your stomach. My dad used to be a chef. So he was like, look, we're gonna cook certain things. Let's just see if you just need to relax. So I was like, okay, okay. I was at a hospital in central London, so he didn't drive up, so we got the train back. When I was on the train, I was in and out of consciousness, passing out constantly. I was going to throw up. That was the worst train journey. I felt horrifically ill. I was like, this is not right. This isn't right. I got home, and that night we went to Sussex Hospital. When we went to Sussex Hospital, it was really hard for them to transfer all of the notes. They were like, you need to go up to London and see the specialists there because they have all of your notes. So then they transferred me by an ambulance, and I went straight to London. I went to hospital in London. When I got to hospital in London, things started getting progressively worse. I was throwing up everywhere. I was so blocked up though. By this point, I had not been to the toilet for 2 months. Not been to the toilet. Stuff had come out this way, but nothing was moving down there. They had given me laxatives in hospital. They had given me enemas in hospital. They had given me suppositories in hospital, and all of which are meant to work to make everything move. They're laxatives. Nothing. Nothing. So instead of doing an endoscopy here, they wanted to do one that way, down below, up that way, but they couldn't because I was so blocked up. So what they needed to do was clear me. So when I got to hospital, they cleared everything out, and I remember I couldn't eat for 48 hours, and I had to drink this drink. And basically this drink had radioactive substance in it, and they were going to trace it on a scanner to see where it went and see the process of my stomach. So then when I stepped into the MRI scanner, they saw that everything was fine. So I was like, what is going on? They were like, fluid moves through your system extremely well, you're fine. And by this point I'm like, what is going on? I honestly felt completely lost. I felt completely lost. Then I continued to stay there for another 3 weeks. Still couldn't work out what was wrong with me. However, they explained they wanted to do this one test with me. They wanted to do one more test and see if it was this. But I had the same surgeon again, the really nice one who discharged me with nothing. And he came over to me and he was like, well, we're going to discharge you and then we'll do the test. And I said, well, how long wait will it be? And he said 8 weeks. I cannot wait a further 2 months for a test which I can do as an inpatient. So he said, well, if we do it as an inpatient, we'll do it tomorrow. I said, well, can we do that then? He was so unhappy to do it. He did not want to do it. He did not want to do it. When I went for this test the next day, I had to eat this porridge and it had radioactive substance in it again. And the porridge was then going to go through my system and they were going to trace it on an MRI scanner to see exactly where it had gone. So after the porridge, they did a couple of MRI scans. They did one half an hour after. They did one 2 hours after. They kept doing them. They did one 24 hours after. The day I got discharged was the day I got told what I had. And my specialist came to see me the next day and she explained that they traced on the system where the porridge went. In a normal, no one's normal, but you know what I mean. I'm saying that in a normal stomach compared to mine, because mine doesn't work. Normally the process is when you eat, 20 minutes after, that's when the process starts. And it starts the digestive process. Then it starts moving through everywhere inside, I don't know everything, and then it starts going to get ready to come out the other end. Not that quick, but 20 minutes the process starts. They said after 24 hours, the food had not moved and my digestive system had done nothing. So I was like, oh my God, well, what's wrong with me then? And they said that I have gastroparesis, which basically means my stomach is paralysed. And they said that I have a severe form of it. Basically, people that suffer with gastroparesis have a slower emptying of their stomach and their digestive system. However, my specialist told me that it was severe. Things were not moving at all. So she was like, I need to put you on a program straight away. I need to put you on meds straight away and do this, do this, do this, do this. And you know when you're just a bit like, at the time it's a really weird mix of emotions because by this time you've been in hospital for 2 months and you think, I've been told I've got nothing wrong with me. I'm doing every single test under the sun and nothing's coming back with any results. And then you get told you have something and you're like, it just hits you because you're like, oh, I do actually have something, you know, but it could be a lot worse. I'm not sitting here like, oh my God, poor me, like this at all. Being in hospital was the best thing that ever happened to me. And I promise you, me doing this story with you now, I am so happy that I get to share this with you because I hope that I can help anyone out there that may be having something with their stomach. But also, my stomach made me. Like, my stomach condition has made me. It didn't stop there though. She also told me that I had gastroesophageal reflux disease to a severe degree, which means that I reflux a lot. And basically, that's destroying the line of my esophagus. I have a lot of acid, which is in my stomach, which is also then going to push everything up. And basically, she explained it like this. With gastroparesis, food, if you leave it out, it goes moldy. If something sits in your stomach and it isn't moving, you're not going to go to the toilet because nothing's going to move. But then also that food is going to sit there and kind of rot in a way. It's going to produce a kind of poisonous gas, which is going to make you feel even worse. And by this point, you think, oh, okay, they've told me what I've got wrong with me, and that's it. I'm gonna deal with this condition, I'm gonna take my meds. But unfortunately, it didn't stop there. Then she also explained to me that I had cyclic vomiting syndrome, which basically means I have extreme obstructions down below within my digestive system and things aren't moving properly. So I'll be sick because where it's not pushing down that way, it's got to come out eventually. And I went on a lot of medication. I think at one point I was taking like 24 tablets a day. 24 tablets a day, and things just weren't getting better. It monitored me for a while, and by the point I got discharged, I'd been in hospital for 3 months. Then when I was in hospital after 3 months, I'd missed a whole term of university. I felt like I needed to go back. I was so worried about university and missing that. I was like, oh my God, what? I'm paying rent for somewhere I wasn't even living. I was paying a fortune rent and I wasn't even there. When I started back at university, they had told me I needed to do the last term that I'd missed, of 15 weeks our terms were, and I needed to do it in 2 weeks. I was like, I'm doing a 15-week program in 2 weeks. I had to teach myself everything. I had to do so much. I had to do a ballet class of an hour, which I had to learn myself and then complete. Jazz class of an hour. So they'd say exercise 4, exercise 6, you just have to do it. Contemporary class and a tap class. Then I had to do solos of each individual field. So I had to do a ballet solo, a tap solo, jazz solo, contemporary solo. I had to write 2 3,000-word essays, choreograph a piece to a musical theatre piece. So I choreographed a piece of Annie, and I brought my friends in and they did the dance for me, and I choreographed that. I then had to learn 4 different songs of different genres. I had to do up-tempo, ballad of a classic, an old-fashioned contemporary. I had to do a lot. I had to do a lot. And then I also had to do my musical theatre theory. There was just so much. Oh, and also I had to do 2 monologues and a duologue and a speech. So I was so stressed. Then after teaching myself all of that, after the 2 weeks, I did all of my exams and I was like, oh my God, I felt drained and I still was so ill. So one day I was at my mum's, it was a weekend and I was relaxing. I was not well at all. And I remember crying. I was in so much pain. I was in so much pain. Sometimes when I'm sick, it goes one way or the other. I will either be so bloated that when I go into hospital, they think I'm pregnant. I look 9 months pregnant. Honestly, it's like actually out here, rock solid, and you can see my colon throbbing. It is so much pain. That's how it feels like. The only way I can describe it is it's radiating through my back. I'm throwing up, acid's coming up, and it's like here, it's going like this. Because of my condition, I don't go to the toilet a lot. So obviously it's trying to push it out, but it's just not working. Or I can go the other way and I literally look so thin, I look ill. You can see every bone. Honestly, my mum and dad have seen me at just the worst state. So then when I was at my mum's, it got really bad. I remember her calling an ambulance. An ambulance came to get me and I went back up to the hospital. I ended up staying in that hospital for a month, but they did further tests and they came to basically the same conclusion. However, they put me on new meds because they said the meds I was on clearly weren't working. They put me on this medication and it just felt as though it was complete trial and error. Honestly, I was going back to my specialist all the time in London and she was saying, your body's become immune to these drugs, we need to put you on new medication, your body can become used to a certain drug that it doesn't work anymore. So it just felt like a never-ending cycle. I was very ill and not myself for a 1.5 years minimum. It wasn't as though I got discharged, I came out of hospital and I was like, woo woo, I've got my thing and I've got my meds. It wasn't like that. It was, now it's the hard graft of working out what you can eat. With my condition, it's not like Crohn's or it's not like celiac. It's not that I'm allergic to things. It's that things don't break down in my stomach. Unfortunately, no one can give you a list and go, you're allergic to dairy, you're allergic to wheat, you're allergic to gluten. With my stomach, it's complete trial and error. And when I came out of hospital, because I didn't know what I could and couldn't eat, I mean, obviously my specialist tried to help me, but she was like, everyone's different. I remember I didn't know the whole dairy situation wasn't a thing, and I ate 7 Smarties and I went to hospital. That continued to happen for the next year. I was in hospital every 2 days. I'd eat something, go to hospital. Eat something different, go to hospital. It was so frustrating because it was like, please, what am I meant to eat? Now I do know what I can and can't eat. However, that doesn't alter how my stomach is. Just before I filmed this video, I was like, Dad, I do not feel well. And he was like, what are we gonna do? And I was like, I just need to film and then we'll discuss it, what I need to do. But right now I'm really not feeling very well. I've taken my medication, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you what's going on because I've eaten everything I can eat. I know what I can and can't eat and I stick to that because I don't want to keep going back into hospital. But my stomach's not been good today. Basically, with my 3 conditions, they also explained that when my stomach's sort of paralysed, because everything else wasn't getting utilised properly as well, my colon kind of went into meltdown and it doesn't work properly either. With my condition, it's very much stress related. And they explained to me when I was in hospital that unfortunately, I had kind of brought this on myself. Beforehand, if you'd known me, I was the most stressy person. Not stressy like horrible, stressy, I worried about everything, everything. If I had an exam in 3 weeks, I wouldn't sleep for 3 weeks. I'd be wide awake and I wouldn't be tired. I'd be wide awake, like worrying. I would worry about everything. Even thinking about it makes me so upset, like thinking about the person I was before hospital. It was just awful. And they said you worked 3 jobs, said you'd come out of a long-term breakup, you'd moved different cities, you're away from your family, and you were a stressy person and you worried. And unfortunately, people hold their stress in different places. Sometimes people get migraines because they have so much stress going on up here. Sometimes people get backache. Stress is awful. Honestly, if you can do anything you can to not stress, please, please, please do it. I mean, I'm so grateful for my stomach condition because I don't think I'd be the person I am today without it. I definitely wouldn't be. But if I can urge any of my angels and any of my huns to not stress so much, honestly, stress is so bad for your body. Whenever I feel the tiniest bit stressed or the tiniest bit worried, I know my stomach's gonna go into meltdown. Even sometimes when I don't feel stressed, my stomach just plays up on me. Part of my condition, unfortunately, is I've learnt now that I can't plan things. I can't decide today's gonna be a really good day and my stomach's gonna be amazing. Today can be a really good day, but my stomach definitely isn't gonna be amazing. I don't know whether one day I wake up and it's just not good. I don't know whether one day I wake up and it's a really amazing day because my stomach's amazing. I never know and I can never plan it. I try my best to do everything I can, but in those 3 years from 2023, I was on medication. I was on very different medication because I would go through stages of the medication working, then it would stop working, then I'd go on different meds, then it would stop working, then I'd go on different meds. And after 3 years, I decided that until I needed those meds, I was gonna see if I could make things work. Now, my medication, everything I take now, I'd love to do another video about that. I would also really like to do another video about where I shop for food, what I eat, what I get from Whole Foods. I shop a lot in Whole Foods. I'd love to do a video about that. If you want to see those videos, please give this a massive thumbs up and also comment below if you want to see those videos. I feel like now I should talk about how I was in hospital and how it made me feel and how I got through it, maybe, because I know a lot of you message me and you've been in and out of hospital, and some of you message me then you are in hospital, some of you message me saying you've just come out of hospital. I'm gonna be honest with you, it was a really frustrating time. That's the one word I can say because I didn't know what was going on. I had no idea what was going on. I had no idea, and you feel so helpless. You're lying in this bed, you don't do anything. It gives you a lot of time to really think and reflect on things. Visiting hours were only actually from 4 until 8. So in the morning, they'd wake me up at 7 o'clock in the morning to change my bed, and the nurses would come around to see you, your specialist would come around to see you, and everyone would come and visit you and explain what you're gonna do that day, if there's any tests they're gonna do that day, etc, etc, etc. Visiting hours were only from 4 until 8, so I would wake up from 7 o'clock in the morning and be alone until about 4ish. I love my parents more than anything in the whole world. Without my family and my support system, I don't know where I'd be. I don't know where I'd be, but I could not make my mum and dad come up every day. So my parents were alternating it and coming up every other day. One would come up one day, one would come up the next. And when I was in the hospital at my mum could come up and see me a lot more. When I was in the London one, I just felt like it was so out of order for them to be coming and seeing me all the time because my mum and dad have got other things to do. They both have jobs. They both have my other siblings to deal with. And I felt like they can't come and see me every single day. I also said to them as well, I understand, I love you so much. I can contact you over the phone. If I need you, I will call you, I promise. I've got some funny story times about hospital. Honestly, some of my funniest story times are actually from hospital. I need to tell you some of those. Honestly, they're so embarrassing, but I share everything with you anyway. But eventually, I spent a lot of time in hospital on my own. It can be lonely. It can be lonely being in hospital because you are on your own 24/7. You know, there's not people you talk to because most of the people on my ward were a lot older. They had their families come to visit. So I was really on my own a lot of the time, but it made me. Hospital made me. And if anyone is in hospital or anyone's gone through hospital or anyone has to go to hospital, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you're going through something. I don't know what you're going through. I hope that they get to the bottom of it. But whatever you're going through, take as much out of hospital as you can. I was the most dependent person in the world you'd ever meet. Probably, I promise. I was so dependent of everyone around me. I was just a very dependent, clingy, needy person. And hospital made me the boss baby girl that I am, and I am gonna say that. I thought about not saying that, and I thought, no, I'm gonna say it. I'm proud of the independent person I've become, and hospital made me. Don't get me wrong, I would love to not have this stomach problem. Of course I would. But then would I take back going to hospital? No, I probably wouldn't, because it shaped me. It made me realise who my true friends are. It made me realise who I actually am. And I don't know why I'm getting so emotional. I'm not gonna cry. I'm not gonna cry, see? I stopped myself there. But being in hospital, honestly, I sat there and I was like, right, I'm gonna think about every insecurity I have and I'm gonna think about why I'm insecure about it. I remember at one point they were feeding me through tubes. I had a tube in here and a tube in here. I also had my cannulas in my arms. I got out of the bath and I had these tubes in here. And I remember looking in the mirror and being like, you little cutie, you look so cute. I remember thinking to myself, wait, you've got no makeup on, you've got tubes coming out of you, and that's not a bad thing. But if I'd put that to myself 2 years ago, I wouldn't have wanted anyone to see me. I was walking around hospital loving life. I was walking around hospital loving life. Even though I was so ill, I didn't care. I didn't care what anyone thought of me because I thought to myself, I'm gonna get better. I'm gonna be in here, I'm gonna get better, and on the outside, I'm gonna be a better version of myself because I don't care what people think of me, I just want to get better. And hospital really taught me that you need to look after yourself. You need to look after yourself so much. Putting your body through a lot of stress, putting your body through a lot of strain is so unnecessary. If you can look after your body, it is so important because this is you. This is you. When your health kind of deteriorates, you realise nothing else matters except love and happiness and your family and your friends. And that is true. I've realised so much that, okay, yeah, I'm wearing makeup now, but I want to wear makeup today because I felt like I'd do a little brown lip. Just looked in the mirror and checked it out, yeah. I thought I'd put a little brown lip on and experiment with my eye makeup, but I don't care now. I go into town with no makeup on, I don't care. Before, I never would have gone into town with no makeup on. I don't care what anyone sees me looking like. Honestly, before with my ex-boyfriends, I remember I used to set alarms when my ex-boyfriend would stay at my house to go into the toilet and put my makeup on because I did not want him to see me without makeup. Obviously that changed after a while because I was with him for a long time. I was with him for like 5 years, so that changed. I mean, now I don't care about anything externally. I don't care because I think to myself, as long as I'm beautiful on the inside, I mean, my stomach's not pretty, she's paralysed, bless her, but, you know, as long as my heart is beautiful, that's all that matters to me. Being a nice person is all that matters to me. If you are going through something like this, don't look at it as a negative experience. Try and turn every negative you go through into a positive. And I promise you, if you're going through with something with your stomach, or if you're going through anything health related, it will get better. And you will get to the root cause of it, and you will determine what you can eat, what you can do with your body, what you can, because it's your body. You know how your body feels, and stay true to that. If you're feeling something within your body, and you think something's wrong, act on it. Don't ever let something sit, don't ever let something lie. And if you know you don't have these symptoms, like I knew in my head I didn't have IBS. I knew in my head I didn't have IBS. I should have worked on it back then when I was in Brighton. But I felt like the doctors have told me what it was. No, you know. You know better than anyone. You know your body. So promise me, Huns, promise me you will look after your body, you will stay loving, you will stay kind, you will stay true to who you are and be a loving, beautiful person on the inside. I know this is so cheesy and so cringy, but I'm such a cringy person. I wanted to just tell you that whatever you go through in life, it makes you a better person. Do you know what I always think to myself? Going through heartbreak, going through anything in hospital, through my parents' divorce, going through bullying, it has made me the person I am today. And do you know what I think I have that's a strength of mine is empathy. I'm able to empathise with a lot of people because I feel like everything I've been through has made me a stronger and more emotionally aware person. I think I'm very emotionally intelligent. Sorry, I'm really sorry, I'm crying. Sorry, I'm just such an emotional wreck, aren't I? You're probably getting bored of me crying. Please don't get bored of it because I want to make YouTube videos forever, so I'm probably going to cry on loads of those as well. I feel like I'm crying out of like happiness. I'm so happy I get to share this with you. I'm so happy that I can spread love. I want to spread love on my channel. I want everyone to just know that this is like a happy place to come. And some of you write comments to me, like I look through your comments, Imogen, and I see such a positive comment section, and that's so nice to see on YouTube. And that makes me so happy that people are so positive towards me because I feel like I want you to understand I love you all so much, and the fact that you've just listened to me talk about my stomach condition for God knows how long I've talked about it for, it humbles me. It makes me feel so like, wow, I've gone through that and I get to share it with my angels. It just blows my mind. If you would like to see videos about medicine I take herbally and what medicine I used to take beforehand, what I've changed it to now, if you want to see a video about what I eat, maybe I could do a Whole Foods haul or like a food haul. I'd like to do that. That'd be cute. That would actually be cute. Couldn't watch me cooking it because I'm not necessarily very good at cooking, but I could do a video like that. So yeah, if you do want to see these videos, please give this a massive thumbs up. Write down below to me because I always read through all of your comments. Honestly, I really do. I'm so grateful to have you. I can't explain it to you. I'm sorry this video hasn't been a very fun one because it's not a funny story really to talk about, but I'm so glad I've got to share it with you, and I just want you to know that whatever you're going through, I'm always here for you, and please try and turn a positive from it. You might not see the positive now, but you will in the future. Now I look back and I'm like, yes, I'm an independent woman now. I'm an independent woman. I was so different before, and hospital made me. Yeah, okay, stomach, you're not loving life, but I don't know why I'm touching there, it's a bit lower down. Yes, stomach, you're not loving life, and certain things, I've got conditions, but I'm gonna live with them and I'm gonna make them work for me. And I'm a happy person. I love my life so much. I've got so much to be grateful for. What's a little stomach condition? Nothing. It's nothing. It could be so much worse, and you put everything in perspective when you're in hospital. You're like, my God, there are people here that are really suffering. So I think to myself, I've got an amazing family around me. I've got all of you amazing Huns around me. I've got love. All I need is love and happiness and loyalty. And that's what I have from all of you. It's what I have from everyone surrounding me. I only surround myself with people that are loving, positive and happy in my life. I urge you to do that. Life is too short to focus on negative things. So I love you so much. I'm sorry if this has been a bit cringy at the end or whatever. But yeah, thanks so much for listening to me, and I love you all so, so, so much. If you have any questions or anything like that, please comment to me below. I love you. Thanks for listening to this. Sorry if this video has been a bit all over the place, but yeah. Oh, I need the song game, don't I? Yeah, I'm gonna do it on this video. Yeah, I'm gonna do it on this video. If you are new to my channel, then hello honeys, thank you so much for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, then you'll know. But basically, I do this game where I mime a song, and I'm gonna mime this song and you've got to guess it. But listen, this is a really good song. It's quite fitting for this video because it's about strong, independent humbuns. I used to love this girl's show on Disney Channel so much. Oh my god, I love that song so much. It's such a good... I'm going to listen to it now. When I finish filming, I'm like, I'm going to put it on repeat. I'm going to put it on repeat. I'm going to put a bath on. I'm going to sing. I'm going to sing. To be fair, I'm probably not going to put a bath on because I don't actually feel very well. I'm probably not going to jam and do all this because the stomach's not chilling. So I'm probably going to go downstairs, get a nice cup of warm water and just chill. My shout out this week goes to Jade May Louise. Jade May messaged me on Snapchat and she explained that she wanted to come to my meetup but certain things held her back, and I just want you to know, Jade, I love you so much, and for my next meetup, girl, you better come and I'm gonna meet you. I'm gonna message you and say, wherever you are, I'm coming to get you. I'm coming to get you and I'm gonna come and drag you and you're gonna be with me, okay? I love you so much. Thank you so much for being so supportive and being so amazing. And to all of my Huns, I love you all more than you'll ever know. I love you more than life itself. Honestly, you're everything to me. Thank you so much for everything. Until next time, angels. What my video am I doing on Sunday? Oh, on Sunday, my hun buns. I've got a video with Hugo B going up. It's a really exciting video. On Sunday, you'll see my little main man, my little brother, Hugo B. I'll see you on Sunday. Until next time, angels, I'm gonna love you and I'm gonna leave you. Don't know what was I doing there? That singing teacher though, he was wrong because my vocal range is high. I'm joking.